Tay, good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning.
I'm doing so well. I'm so excited.
You were showing us before the podcast the Cane's pajama pants. I would like to point out that I need a pair. I was going to go to the store, well, not the store, Cane's, to get some, but I think you got to order them online. Tay, I want you to introduce yourself, where you stream, how long you've been doing what you're doing, and how it all started. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Tay. The full name's TayZgg. People say it wrong all the time, but I never correct people. I started streaming back around the pandemic, but I was kind of on and off in the beginning. So I really say my true start was like 2021. And yeah, I have been gaming for like a lot longer than I've been streaming. But some life events, which we'll probably get into, kind of led me to trying this out and finding a hobby that I could do that was a little bit more stationary. So that's where we are today, and I play a lot of FPS games. I'm a big FPS gamer, and I haven't always been. Well, I have and I haven't, but that's where we landed on Tarkov. I was a COD streamer when I started.
Oh my God, sorry there. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up because you do a lot of things within the gaming community, which we do have some questions. Like you said, we have a lot of great questions here today, but you also are a commentator, and you do like casting a little bit on the side, which we'll get into later. But I really wanted to say thank you, by the way, for being on the podcast. If there's one person that I'm incredibly close with throughout the years, it's probably been you. Like I literally, we text each other back and forth occasionally. We've met each other a few times at, all these cons over the past few times. Speaking about which, are you going to GCX?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
The flights are really cheap, but I have TwitchCon all lined up. That might be just what I commit to only. But I will be at TwitchCon. So
okay, sounds good. Well, I will see you there 100%. You've helped me with a lot throughout the years. You were a friend that I needed in almost every situation, it seemed like. I just wanted to say thank you for being on the podcast, and cheers to you. I don't have a...
I got mine. You don't have yours? You drank it all.
I drank it all, and Mama Gino made me some, but I don't want to mess up the recording by going and getting some, so it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
We'll just act like I'll just fake sip the whole podcast, just like imagine something's there. Speaking about coffee, actually, that's the first section I kind of wanted to get into. One thing I wanted to talk about a lot in this podcast, or one thing that we're going to bring up a lot later in the podcast, is you being a dietitian, right? So I made the first mistake a while ago saying that you were a nutritionist, and apparently dietitians do not like that. So I won't say that. You are a registered dietitian. And as someone who helps others with weight loss, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about coffee? Like, how specifically?
Yeah. Coffee is fine. I think like a lot of people overdo it on the caffeine these days. It's very common in our like society to see that. So I think the amount that people are drinking is a little aggressive, but that's not necessarily from a weight loss perspective. That's just from a general health perspective. We got to be careful, take care of our hearts, all the things, which is why I drink decaf now, because I can't have real coffee. But no, when I was in college, I was really interested in, I drank a lot of coffee, and I'd actually drink coffee before exercise. So one of the cool thing about being in nutrition in college is you can literally explore. If you have a question about something, you can do a research project on it. It's kind of cool.
Oh.
So my roommates were like, yo, you gotta stop drinking coffee before you go work out. That's not helping you. And I was like, nope, I'm gonna look into this. And it actually is helpful to drink coffee before exercise because it helps with endurance. The caffeine does help. It does dehydrate you a little bit, but like it's not a problem to have it. So that was one of my advanced nutrition research studies that I did, and I presented on it.
I didn't know that. I know that there's some things out there that say coffee is a natural like appetite suppressant, right? Like caffeine specifically like reduces your appetite, so to speak, or like hunger cravings. I heard stuff about that. That's true, right? Like that's also another benefit, or? I
think so, but I also don't respectfully approve of the people that drink it and don't have breakfast. I think you should still make room for actual nutrition, but I think it can help a little bit. But there are people that literally just, only drink coffee.
Yeah, this could not be me. Like, just not me whatsoever.
Am I calling you out right now? I'm so sorry.
It's not like, it's just like, not me. I always have breakfast when I drink my coffee. I wanted to ask though, I see that you have decaf there. Assuming you like coffee, what's your favorite? I assume decaf has been a favorite recently?
Decaf is a favorite because I have to, but I really like just back in the day, I would do iced coffee. I don't drink hot coffee. I'd be the person in college walking through the snow with an iced coffee in my hands. It's kind of like a little bit psychotic, but I don't, I don't like I don't like hot coffee. So, my usual order was just like a regular iced coffee with cream and sugar or like syrup and sugar or syrup and cream, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. There used to be a place, and very few people might know of this place because it's very geographical. But there's a place called Big B in like Ohio, Indiana, Michigan.
Does that sound familiar? Oh no,
and that was like my favorite coffee chain. They'd give you a free drink, and I'd also get like chai lattes. Big chai latte girl back in the day too.
Oh, I've heard good things about lattes and stuff. I've never actually had a latte. I've only been the basic bitch, like just coffee, black or cream and sugar, right? Like it's just like I'm so basic when it comes to my coffee. Have you ever had frozen coffee? I fuck with frozen coffee.
I've done frappuccinos before for sure, like back in the day. But again, it just feels like at that point it's losing its coffee. Yeah. It's becoming something else. So,
100%. There's a lot of sugar and stuff involved, and I feel like on the dietitian side of things, I'm sure it's painful to see how many people are like, yeah, I love coffee when their coffee is like 40% creamer, 10% sugar.
Mine looks like that right
yeah,
now,
well, mine always looks like that too. It's just the cameras. No worries. I know a lot of dietitians talk about liquid calories and how you should try and avoid them. I've been personally on my health grind recently, and I've been avoiding a lot of liquid calories. The only thing that I really make way for is either coffee or my favorite is boba tea. I love boba tea so much. It's just a lot of sugar and it's a lot of calories, but I love it. What are your thoughts on liquid calories though, and what are some good replacements? Like I know you're a big LaCroix person. I know that's a good replacement for just basic bland water, right?
Yeah, I mean, people hate it, but I'm a big, I should be sponsored by them with this, right? With the amount that I drink. No, drinking your calories is tricky. It's probably something that I steer clear of personally, and that I usually tell people to also steer clear of. Also tricky to dive into the world of like alternative sugars. People don't always tolerate things like aspartame and, stevia and all these things as well as real sugar. So everything in moderation, but I truly think like drinking isn't going to hit the same as actual food. Why, expend something on something you drink rather than something that you can just eat? Eating's more satisfying to me. Maybe that's a personal take, but I find that, it's similar. A lot of these drinks that we're guzzling down that have calories in them are not going to give us the same satisfaction as food would, except for maybe like a protein shake or chocolate milk or something that's got a little bit more like oomph in it. But yeah, you don't see me scarfing down a bunch of soda. I still have like a really sweet spot for orange juice though. That's like the one.
Oh, I love OJ. When I'm sick, OJ is my go-to. My mom has always been like that person to where like helicopter mom when you're sick, like she just like forcing medicine down your throat and stuff like that. And she always advocates by OJ when you're sick. She's like, it will help you get better faster. I'm like, Mom, this ain't working. But I don't think I love OJ when I'm sick. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad you brought that up. I was just talking with my dad yesterday about it because like my family and stuff, they'll look at my calorie deficit and they'll be like, so what do you do like to help it? I'm like, liquid calories is a good thing, right? Like I would love a Coke or I would love, a soda or something. But the truth is, right, like when I drink a soda or something, it doesn't necessarily crave my appetite, right? And so one thing I've been getting in the habit of, and it might not be the greatest thing, but at least it's not drinking a soda, is when I'm hungry, I'll just down a bottle of water. And, although that might not necessarily be the healthiest thing from a dietitian standpoint, but it is something that fills me up temporarily, 20, 30 minutes. And then, I'm not necessarily hungry, right? Like sometimes I get cravings of like a burger or something, and I just drink a bottle of water and then all of a sudden it's gone. So, water's the GOAT, right? Water is just great. I love water.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that play into the role. I you can stop me if I get too into this stuff, but play into the role of hunger. And one of those can be thirst, but surprisingly, a lot of what hunger comes from that I see more than anything else is like stress and sleep are really big contributors, and probably a lot of people know that. It's not necessarily uncommon knowledge, but our sleep controls a lot of the hormones that make us feel hungry and full and are able to like bring those out. So if we're not sleeping soundly, things are going to look totally different. If we're feeling stressed, the cortisol is going to change our appetite. So there's so many areas to kind of pay attention to when like we're feeling hungry and maybe I don't want to say we shouldn't, but like it's abnormal for us. And then you get into like hormones in women too, which I don't know how that looks for dudes as much. I don't work with men as much as I do women, but it's a lot of different things. But thirst can be a big thing. So it's good that you found something that kind of like helps you in those moments and you've noticed about yourself. Yeah,
I'm glad that you brought up the sleep part too, because of like I hate, and this is no disrespect, there are probably some people in chat that have said it to me. I hate the saying like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I hate it. I cannot stand you if you say that, because one thing that like 2 years ago, I went through a very, 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 rough experience, right? Like I was in a ditch. I had a lot of storms in my life, so to speak, and one thing that I changed immediately was my sleep schedule. I made sure to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night, and my diet. Right? I've noticed the biggest difference ever since then, right? Like I stopped moping around. I stopped feeling like shit. I stopped, I just felt better as a human being, right? When I got, adequate sleep, I had a good diet, right? And I'll be honest with you. I know my gym buddy's been skinnier his entire life. I've been more of a bigger kid my entire life, so to speak. And one thing that like, he feels like shit when he's cutting, right? When he's cutting calories and stuff like that. I feel like shit when I'm bulking. Like, he has so much energy. I feel like shit. Like, I don't know what it is, if it's just like some, metabolism thing, but I feel like genuine, like, so bad when I eat more than I should during... I mean, that makes sense, but, like, the more food in me, I should have more energy. But the truth is, I feel like I have less. I don't know what it is, but
it could just be like the types too that you're consuming, like how it's impacting like your blood sugar and all that. It's a really
there's a lot to it. I'm
there's
sure.
a lot to dive into, but everybody's different, and that's why I think just in general, like when I'm listening to people's stories or hearing how they're approaching things, I try not to be, I have my beliefs as a person, and again, we'll probably talk a lot about those, but I try not to be too judgmental or say that like one size fits all for anybody, because I think everybody has their what makes them feel the best, as long as it's sustainable for them. Bulking obviously is not something you do long term, but like if you had to, it probably would. You'd have to make some adjustments to it and figure out how to make it feel better. For you,
100%. It's a crazy world. It's weird to me, right? Like my gym buddy, he always struggles gaining weight, and I always struggle losing weight. So we're kind of opposite side of the spectrum. It's funny that I mentioned that. It's like we kind of we're yin and yang, or whatever you say. We're complete opposites, but we keep each other sane, right? Like when he's feeling skinny, I say he's looking good, and when I say I'm fat, right, he says I'm looking good. So it's a good opposite to have. But I love my gym buddy. Shout out to him. I wanted to ask, outside of coffee, though, what are some of your favorite drinks to have around the house? LaCroix is one of them, I'm sure, but any other ones?
Any kind of sparkling water, really. I actually drink a lot. I have this here. I have my little Life shake.
I love
really
those.
Into those lately. They're just like super filling and really nice to have around. So I drink those. But usually, I'm not even kidding, it's probably like 5 sparkling waters a day. I bought a what are those called? I have a machine to make my own sparkling water. I got one for Christmas because I'm like...
Oh, it's not a Ninja. It's a... Oh, I forget what it's called now.
I can't think of the name of it
either.
right now.
I'm sure chat. SodaStream, is that it?
SodaStream, yeah. I have a SodaStream now because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much money, but I still spend money on sparkling water. But mostly that kind of stuff. I'm also like, I'm not a chronic milk drinker, but I drink milk. I like it.
Nothing wrong with milk. A lot of protein and stuff. They do. No, I know what you're talking about. I've told some gym buddies before, like, yo, I had a glass of milk last night. They're like, how fucking dare you? I'm like, what did I do? Like, it's protein.
Yeah, calm down.
Good for your bones. Like, let me drink, Like, that's funny. Have you ever had Liquid Death? Those are my favorite. Well, they're not necessarily. I think they're sparkling waters.
They have some sparkling waters. It just depends. They have like tea now too.
Yeah.
I think the sparkling water is kind of mid.
Wow.
There's like some like agave in it
Yeah.
that they add. And
Yeah,
I don't know
I love agave sweetener. I think that's what they sweeten it with.
It's too sweet for me. Like I don't want sweet. I just want like the static.
Yeah,
and
no.
So,
Yeah, you're weird for that, Tay. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know. But the Spindrift is one that I've gotten on recently. It's just like carbonated water and liquid juice. Also, side note, there's like a drumming situation happening outside or a loud cart.
I don't hear it.
Okay,
So
cool.
we're good. If I heard it, I would probably point it out. No worries.
There's like a band playing outside.
Yeah,
it's fine.
if it distracts you from any of the questions, we can always move on to an easier question or something like that.
No,
Just let me know.
I'm just like, oh my god, I'm literally living in a concert. I hope you guys can't hear. Anyway.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Going back to, I wanted to ask, hot take, hot cocoa or coffee? Because I'll be honest, as much as I love coffee, I might take hot cocoa here. I can't. Coffee is... I can't do that.
Coffee's king.
Yeah.
I'm probably also more coffee. And again, that stems from my like don't want to drink calories kind of thing. But I want to, I would say coffee.
Coffee? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Coffee. Hot cocoa also has a lot of sugar from a dietitian standpoint.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I believe it's Ghost. I'm sure you know Ghost, like the brand that does like protein powders and stuff. They do a hot cocoa powder now, which is I tried it. It's complete ass. Like just being straight honest with you, it's so bad. You put it in hot milk and it's not good.
I would never.
Yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, moving on. The gaming section. I wanted to talk about gaming and stuff. Although we mentioned you being a dietitian, you're also a longtime gamer and streamer. Where did this all start? I know you mentioned during COVID before, but kind of give us a rundown.
With gaming or streaming or both?
Gaming. We'll get into the streaming part a little later, so gaming more so.
Yeah. So I have an older brother, which I feel like is the root of a lot of like children. Like when you get into gaming as a kid, you had somebody that was like getting you into that. Because my parents aren't like massive gamers. My parents will go to like a barcade with me and enjoy themselves, but they didn't like get me into it. Grew up with a brother. We got like, the original Game Boy, which was like a green block. I don't even know if you were around for those, Gino.
Nah, I don't think I was.
I'm a little bit older than Gino. It's just like a green block. And then we had Game Boy Colors with our little Pokemon. There was like a silver and gold version of those. So we had those and an original PlayStation. So I played a lot of just games with him. I would just watch him play games. Or we do things together, but it was like such a slew of things. Like my early years of gaming, I feel like I bring up all these games that I used to play as a kid and everybody's like, oh, I was playing like Call of Duty and Resident Evils. And I'm like playing like Mary Kate and Ashley Mall Madness. And like, we played a lot of racing games. Like we do like Need for Speed and stuff. Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite games of all time, and I like watched my brother play that. We bought like the book for it. I have a poster of it behind me. So lots of like weird games, really into DDR, really into just some weird games. But got an Xbox in middle school, and that's where I like got to Halo. And Halo was like my first person shooter that I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Split screen originally, and then by like middle school, I raised enough money babysitting that I bought a 360 and like did the online thing. So Halo was like my first online space for gaming. My brother and I shared a gamer tag and we played. And then I got into some CODs and some things. But again, like was like very tunnel vision Halo. Like I feel like all these people have so many games in their repertoire and I'm like never played Gears of War, never played this and that. Like I just loved Halo. And I didn't own any Nintendo systems really besides a Wii. I saw a little bit of that in the chat. I never played I played at friends' houses, but not in my own. So I don't know, like weird raising around gaming. And then I went to college and I got Red Ring before I went to college. Tried to wrap my Xbox in a towel as we do. Didn't work. You're supposed to like overheat it and reset it. I don't know if anyone remembers this.
I had the red ring on my Xbox 2 times and it just reset itself. Like I literally unplugged it and it just I plugged it back in and it worked again. I was like, okay, all right, well, I'm good.
I'm so annoyed. I think the number of rings told you like what was wrong with it. And I think I was at the number like I had like 3 and that's like okay, you're doomed. Like you're screwed. You can't.
That's
You
funny.
can't do anything with this. So I went to college with like my PlayStation and Wii, but I rarely played in college. I was a collegiate dancer, and then I joined a sorority. I went to a Southern school. I wouldn't have joined a sorority otherwise. Those are dark ages of my life. But people probably could like, I don't know, see me in a sorority. It's not that, I guess, out of character. Anyway, didn't play. And then got another Xbox when I went through a breakup in college. Got really addicted to Halo again. And then Rainbow Six Siege ran with it. Ran with it on console. And we've played it before. I suck now. Me and Gino have played it off stream a few times. But I have like 72 days in that game just from like no lifing it for 1 or 2 years. It was crazy.
Siege is good. The community is not. I'll tell you what right now. There is some questionable language being used in there, and it's not like English or Spanish. It's just a whole nother degen of language. But no, Rainbow Six Siege is phenomenal. It's just the community's trash, and the game developer, I feel like, is also not the greatest. Ubisoft is just known for not doing great things and not great updates. We have played it before. You have mentioned that. I think we played like 3 matches that one night. I think it was a Saturday night boys night. I was like, "Tay, we need one for Siege," and she's like, "Yeah, I'll hop on." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So we played. Siege was fun. But I did want to ask about college. I know schooling was probably a lot. Becoming a dietitian. Did you go to school for a dietitian? Or you did, right?
So my mom was a Weight Watchers leader when I was in like middle school. So she was on her own health journey.
Okay.
And we always had like Weight Watchers like cakes in our house and stuff. Like I was raised like in a diet culture household, which a lot of us may relate to. Can definitely mess you up a little bit in adulthood, which when I went to college, I gained like 13 pounds because I was like, wow, there's desserts that are not Weight Watchers brand out here. Like cinnamon rolls and hot pans, craziness. So I gained a lot of weight my freshman year. The freshman 15 was real. Also, side note, this is a funny story. I remember like trying to stretch into a pair of pants and just thinking it was like, I just need to stretch them out. Ripped them completely down the crotch. Like definitely had like my moment there. Regardless, I've wanted to be a dietitian for a very long time. The second that I found out that you could make a career out of nutrition, I was like, cool, that's what I want to do. I hate vomit, but I knew I wanted to be in healthcare. But like you can I still have run into vomit in healthcare and in dietetics. OB units are the worst. And if anyone's had a pregnant wife and they've had hyperemesis, or they've been pregnant themselves, it's disgusting. Regardless, knew I wanted to be one. So I immediately chose a school. I went to University of Kentucky, go Cats, and chose a school for that reason to get, like, you have to go through an internship and all these kinds of things and get matched. So did that early on and kind of set myself up for like success at that school because of what they offered.
Nice. So you said University of Kentucky, right? I like their color scheme, but I don't know really anything about the school, to be quite honest with you. Mama Gino, I muted myself.
Coffee.
Yeah, she brought me coffee and the creamer. You know what, Mom? I'm gonna try and drink this black. No cap. I'm gonna try.
You're a big boy.
Yeah. It's not gonna be good, but it's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Mom.
I love that she.
No,
did
it's
that
okay.
For you.
It's okay. She was like, "You want me to redo it?" I'm like, "No, Mom, it's good." Mama Gino's the best. Anyway, going back to college though, did you do a lot of gaming in college? I know you mentioned it before, but you said after a breakup you got another 360 and started playing. That was during college, right? So you did some gaming in college, I assume.
That would have been after college. So in college, again, brought like my Xbox and brought my PlayStation and Wii. Didn't have my Xbox. But didn't really get around to them. I thought like I'd lure a bunch of boys in with my Kingdom Hearts games and stuff and be like, so cool. No, but I was friends with the fraternity, like an entire fraternity pretty much. And a couple of them had gaming systems, so I would finagle my way over to their house to play like literally Halo. I'd always seek out Halo because I didn't know anything better. Like that was life. Halo was everything to me. So it's like, oh, you have Reach? Okay, I'm coming over and I'm
Reach
playing.
Reach is the GOAT.
Like,
Reach is the GOAT. Nah, that makes me hype up now. I love Reach. Reach was my favorite Halo. It's probably, I think I did like a top 10 games for me, like of all time. I think Halo Reach was number 2. So if that makes you feel any better.
I prefer 3, but I didn't
played
spend
3.
that much time with it.
Yeah,
okay, fair.
I never played 3, so I wasn't able to really experience that. I did like Halo Wars. I think they need to make another Halo Wars. I'm not gonna lie, that game was so good. I love the love the controlling your troops aspect. It was really, really sick.
I wish it was still like Halo is still relevant. I feel like
Yeah.
it isn't. It
Yeah,
isn't.
it's
You know,
not. Yeah, Halo
it's my
Infinite
best
was bad.
FPS game. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually like, if I were to go pro, vague word there. I don't know. If I were to like be good at anything, it would be Halo.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's in a
good
rough
anything.
state, that's for sure.
Yes,
Speaking
it is.
about rough states, I know we met in Tarkov. How do you feel about its current state, and what do you think the future looks like? Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I have been one of those people that's still playing it. It's a game that like I got into probably a little bit later than a lot. So maybe my lore of like the origin of the game and how it came about and how mad people are about what they're doing isn't strong enough to like get really angry, but nothing's holding me like the game. I've been playing all the things that have come out, you know, Gray Zone, ABI, all the different like competitors, and I don't feel the same way about anything. And I know it takes time to build a big game, right? Tarkov's been around for a while, and that's probably why it's good. But yeah, I'm not gonna stop playing it.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I didn't put any more money into it. I'm not a blue gamer, but I do enjoy it. And yeah, I don't know. I think the wipe's gonna happen, and people are probably still gonna get back on it, like they have been anyway.
Yep, they will.
So I don't think it's gonna like what's happening isn't gonna last. But I've definitely gotten some like weird people on TikTok, like, why are you not boycotting this game?
Yeah.
And I'm like, me boycotting this game is gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
But
why are you on Gray Zone? Why aren't you on Gray Zone Warfare right now? It's like it's like an old man with a fucking stick just poking you and stuff. Like, do something else, you know? Like, damn. Like, let me play my games. Did I tell you? I think I texted you when this was all going down. I got a lot of death threats for even buying the blue edition. I tell you
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, I got 14 death threats for just playing unheard. Yeah. There were people
to get that mad about it.
It was bad.
I would be like, chill. It's a video game.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
You're not
really bad.
Nikita's nephew.
Yeah,
like,
no, they
chill.
were treating me like I was Nikita. Dude, I was like, damn. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but getting away from Tarkov though, what are some of your favorite games to play nowadays besides Tarkov? You have any favorites?
I played Disney Dreamlight on my Switch like all the time.
You
it's
told
like
me
my
that
guilty
before.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's very task oriented. I'm a very task oriented person. Why I play Tarkov. Destiny 2 came out with that update, and I used to play Destiny like really in the Forsaken Prime. If anyone's familiar with that game, and the like how it's come about. So yeah, I was really into it a couple of years ago. So I got back into that a little bit. What else do I play? I play Candy Crush every night on my phone as well.
You need to play World of Warcraft with us, Tay. Have you ever played WoW?
No.
But yeah, you might not want to. You know, Tay, you're too nice of a person. I don't think you should play WoW. Not gonna lie.
No, I don't mind it. I play Warzone like all the time still as well. I forgot that's like my college friends love Warzone. That's how we still stay connected. So I have like a Discord and we all jump in and play too. So I'm still very into the BRs. Like they're very monotonous, but I don't play it enough to like have all the meta guns and everything, but I love dropping in.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. I can't. I fucking hate Warzone actually, but
that's fair.
Any Call of Duty products in the past 5 years has just made me progressively angrier. So it's just not a Warzone guy, but I'm glad that you enjoy it. And I'm more importantly glad that you have friends from college that you can play with, because I think that's a very important part with streaming and everything. It's very important to have, you know, friends that are kind of outside of the scene a little bit. So that's really, really cool. Definitely. And I'm sure we'll get into it. Speaking about which, the content creation section is up next. But first, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the future of gaming? What do you think it looks like? So I've had a lot of answers when I've asked this, right? I think VR is going to be a very futuristic thing, but give us your thoughts.
As long as we don't all throw up playing it. It's rough. The thing that you did at Loot Fest sounded so cool, though.
Oh my God, it was so sick. No, I haven't told chat. Well, I haven't told, you know, the podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
I played in Loot Fest. I did a IRL VR thing, and it was like actually where you were in the map, right? It was like it was almost like a football field sized stadium, and it was a it was like they did competitive VR events there, but we kind of did casually. So I was playing against, I think I was playing against Electra. Actually, Electra was on my team, and then I had Ash on my team and a few other people. I'm forgetting about it now, but it was like a IRL experience. And like I was in the game, but I also had to walk around, right? In order for me to move, it wasn't like some WASD. It was like I actually had to walk, right? So, or run or whatever it may be. And I'll tell you what, I took it off. I had my glasses on, like in the mask or whatever, which wasn't actually as bad as I thought. I took it off and I was sweating like profusely. And I'm not gonna lie, like I think that's the future of working out too. Is like just put me in a game running against a fucking bear. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
There's a guy that goes to my gym that I've been going to lately. I joined a gym. I broke my arm and then I waited and then I joined a gym. He gets a racquetball court and just does VR in the racquetball court.
That's
like he's
sick.
just getting after it on his VR. So in my head, I'm like, what if people want to play racquetball? Like you're just taking up space and doing VR. But like, he gets into it. Like he's getting after it, which like good for him, but also like different to see.
100%. There's a lot of crazy people at the gym. I'm not gonna necessarily speak on it because then I'll have like Joey Swole or something coming after me. But you know how the culture is at the gym. But that's sick. So you recently got back into the gym, or you said you just got a membership?
Well, I got a membership for Christmas, but if you guys don't know, I broke my arm ice skating back in December, and I was in like a pretty big cast. I had surgery. I had to get surgery for my first broken bone. So I was out of commission for a while. I just finished PT up in I think end of April. So just trying to get back into my strength. I've got a gnarly scar and weaker right arm maybe, but working on it. So
slowly but surely, that's all you can do. I'm glad that you got rid of the cast. I remember when you were streaming, it was very hard for you to do that, right? Like it was very, very difficult. Weren't you playing like one-handed controller or something?
I tried a lot of different things, you guys. I bought probably like 6 different mouses, landed on one that like is the tiniest little thing. Yeah. And I would just like kind of wiggle it around in my lap. But I played the Evasion Trios tournament because we both were in that. I was a captain. I was honored to be chosen. So I was like, this is so cool. But I'm also so much handicapped right now. And tried to play, and then they're like, oh my gosh, as a Christmas present, we're gonna release the stats from every player. I had like 1 kill. I was like on the biggest struggle bus. Yeah. I killed Sheaf, which I thought was really cool because like go me, broken arm, he was like hurt. But like why? Out of all the tournaments that we're playing, and they're like, oh my gosh, like here are all the player stats. I'm like, that's so embarrassing. I am mortified. I don't know if everyone that I played against knew that I was struggling so hard.
If you ain't first, you last, Tay. That's what that's my motto, you know? Bad publicity is still publicity, you know? So, I mean, I'm sure you had a lot of people coming in like, you suck, you know? Like, you just ban them real quick. You know how it is.
Probably,
moving to the content creation. Where did your content creation journey start? So we got in the gaming, but what about content creation? Where did that start?
Yeah, so I obviously, like I mentioned, I started streaming. All my friends were like, oh, you play a lot of video games. I have a chronic illness that keeps me from doing a lot mobily. So they're like, start streaming. You guys, when I started streaming, I bought it was during COVID, and there weren't a lot of cameras available anymore because everyone started working from home. And I told this story in my stream once. I have a picture of the Amazon purchase. I bought this camera that was like a outdoor like night vision, like it had everything. It was a camera, but like if I turned off the lights, things would turn like black and white, and my friends are like, that's not a webcam, that's definitely like a security camera. And I was like, I don't know. And it was like duct taped like it was bad. It was
like
bad.
a trail camera for a fucking deer.
It was insane. And then my friend sent me a Kinect, and I streamed on my Xbox off a Kinect for a while, which also was very janky. And then eventually got a PC because my work laptop, or one of my laptops, broke. Also, guys, told this story on stream before. Genooo might know it. My computer was built by a Hinge bachelor. I don't know, someone I met on a dating app.
I do remember that. Yeah,
talking to him, and the first time that he came over to my house, he built me a computer on my floor. So that was, and I didn't even like
First
we
time?
didn't date. Yeah.
First time he's just like, yeah, let's get this GPU out. You know,
I
like,
gave him a Diet Coke.
wow, what payment?
computer.
You bought the parts though, right? Like he didn't like.
Yeah, but you know what? He gave me like a keyboard. He gave me a lot of stuff, and he also like it wasn't working right away. He went to Micro Center. I lived in Columbus, so we had one. He went to Micro Center like mid workday because he worked like as a DJ at a bar. And he went to Micro Center mid workday to get everything that wasn't Like he definitely spent a little bit of his money or gave me things, and B, he like did the extra mile and like got me more stuff when things weren't working. And it's still like most of the PC, I've changed a lot of it, I guess, but some of it and the case and everything is still from when he built that. So that was how I got my PC built, and then ended up moving to like, you know, streaming on a computer. But content creation in general, like making content, getting on like these different platforms. I started TikTok when I got out of, I was on and off of streaming in the first like couple of months because I ended up going to an inpatient care facility for mental health called the Ranch in Tennessee, which is kind of what Dr. Phil sends his people to, but I was not on Dr. Phil. I just wasn't doing well. I know, it would have been a cool story if I was. I wasn't feeling very well physically, mentally, and I was really struggling to kind of exist as some of us have been in that place before. So my parents decided to send me inpatient down somewhere, and we made the drive and did all of that, which I'm really open about. So if you know, if you guys have questions, or if like it's not hard for me to talk about at all. It wasn't traumatic. I'm not like bad baby coming out and saying like, I think she said like where she went was really bad. Anyway, but after I got back, I started getting on TikTok and taking that really seriously, and I've got some cringe TikToks, but that's when I started like realizing, hey, this is a platform that I can use to like build my stream. And TikTok's my biggest following, but I don't really do as much with it anymore as I used to.
You do a lot more than a lot of people. You do creative TikToks, like singing, you know, Tarkov songs and stuff like that. Like, I wish I could fucking sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I was creative with, like, I upload like one TikTok every month now, and it's just like a mediocre TikTok.
Well, the site's gone downhill.
Yeah, it has, but I'm struggling, Tay. I really am.
I
like,
get it.
even scheduling this podcast and stuff, right? And like any podcast of that matter, is just hard for me nowadays. But you know how it is. You gotta keep grinding. I think, you know.
I think people are in a creative bind right now, and I feel that as well. But TikTok was really good for me when it was in the heat of it, and I did create like songs for games, so that's kind of what I guess I've been known for in Tarkov, because that was like my first song that I created was like my introduction into Tarkov, and that just stemmed from a place of like, I am not getting a lot of views, what can I do, like what do I like to do that I could add into this. It's kind of thinking of like your strengths in life. I'm a theater kid at root, so that's how I grew up, and it's like, okay, I like to sing, I can, you know, play a few instruments mediocrely, I'm going to turn this into something. And I would like sit in my shower and look at like popular songs and like literally write these songs in my shower, which is a weird thing, but that's kind of how it all
I guess that works. You know, I don't even bring my phone in the shower. I'm just,
it'd be like it'd be like hanging out.
So you just hold it? You just hold it on the out of the water stream? I thought you were putting it in like a Ziploc bag, like some people do.
No, we're sitting on the edge of like the shower, and I'm like speaking into it, or like typing into it what I want. Yeah, it's a weird way to think.
With these songs and stuff, you've created something that not anybody has really created before, and I think that's very important with content creation, is doing something that's new. You know, like there's people that have done songs before, but it hasn't necessarily been a whole ass Tarkov song. You know, so it's something creative, and it's been good for you too, right? Like it's helped you. You know, I'm sure you get you know, comments from time to time on Twitch. You know, hey, I saw your, you know, singing video the other day or something like that. It's probably been nice for you. With the content creation category, I did want to bring up, you're also one of the main casters for Hunt. I mentioned that earlier. How did that come about? How was your casting journey been?
My casting journey. So I started casting just, I had a friend, his name is Turbo Bear. He's involved, I think, in the behind the scenes Hunt things now. One of my Polish companions, I'm a Polish descent. He found me on Twitch and was like, hey, I really want you to cast, and was working alongside Sicario at the time. So I started with Sicario events first. And then, I was doing Hunt. I was competing in Hunt at the time. And I told Philbo, who is one of the leads of Hunt, I said, hey, like if you need people to cast, I'm getting into this. It's something that I'm comfortable with. I love yapping, as you guys probably tell. We were going to yap through a lot of this today. I'm very much willing to do something and help. And he had me on. And I think since then, they've been very complimentary of me, and who I also align with. I think I work really well with a couple of the other casters. So it's been great. It just kind of has fallen into place. And honestly, I prefer it over competing anymore. I'm not the competition scene is a little scary at times, and can be again, you can get hate at times.
Yeah.
Me and Genooo competed in the Tarkov Arena tournament at Twitch, which was a TwitchCon. Which was honestly some crazy opportunity that fell into my lap, I think solely, and I'm not saying this is the only reason, but I bought a 3-day ticket pass, and I think Landmark knew that I had that, so he reached out to me, which my friends all thought was fake when it happened. But got a lot of hate because I'm not the best gamer. It's a lot easier for me to talk about it and appreciate cool gaming abilities, but I will say casting is like the one thing takes so much out of me. If I cast during a day, I'm exhausted. It's like you're focused for 3 hours. And you're really
100%. And there's a lot of competitors and stuff that you have to keep track of. You have to, you have to know the names. It's like I always see people before they commentate for softball games, they have to memorize the jersey numbers. You have to memorize faces in a sense, right? It's I'm sure that's a part of it. I'm sure there's a lot going in the casting, and a lot goes into content creation as well that people don't talk about,
Yep.
We've mentioned how long you've been doing it, but I wanted to ask, how did you become a streamer, like a streamer itself? You brought up the TikTok and all of that thing. So how did Twitch come about?
Yeah, again, I think it was just my friends encouraging me. It was COVID's tough though. Everyone became a streamer during COVID, which is why it's been I think if anyone's tried it or done it lately, it's been a little bit saturated or still has. But if I would have gotten it started a little bit earlier, I think that would have been cool. But my friends were just really encouraging of me. They're like, they kind of pulled the girl card at the time. They're like, men love watching girls play video games. There's big money in this. You got to do it. And I was like, I don't know. I was when I first was getting through with my sickness, and again, I'm going to get into that I think later, so I don't want to say too much about it. But I was really I wouldn't play ranked games in Siege because I'd be afraid that something would happen and I need to back out. So my health wasn't at the top, but eventually I got into it just by them encouraging me. So probably my core group of college guy friends who don't really watch me anymore, but they're still very supportive. So them just telling me go for it, do it, and I was like, sure, why not? And my parents have also been like Geno's parents. And if our parents are your parents, Chad, if you don't have supportive parents, but my parents have been really supportive of all this too, which I can't be more grateful for. They've come on and they've played games with me. They love my chat. My mom makes chocolate chip cookies for some of my chat viewers at times, and sends them by mail.
Awesome. I still haven't gotten any, but that's awesome.
Maybe she'll do it. She asked me the other day on the phone. She's like, "Does anyone need cookies?"
I want cookies. Yes, I want. Yes, I need cookies with coffee. That's 100%. That's awesome. Speaking about family, though, I'm kind of glad that you brought that up. How do you describe your profession, the family/friends? It's very hard to explain as a creator. So how do you explain it?
I keep it pretty baseline. A lot of my friends follow my gaming Instagram, so they kind of know what I'm doing and know what it's like a little bit. But I really just talk to them about we're just playing games and the chat's live and you're just it's like an Instagram live. I try to explain it to something that people might be familiar with and know. But I just tell them I'm a streamer. It's funny though, I came to Christmas this year and my cousin, he's kind of a snarky, 31-year-old, 32-year-old. He's like, did we sign waivers? Is this being live streamed right now? He's making jokes the whole time, but I'm just streaming it. I used my aunt's hot tub for a hot tub stream and she came out. They've all kind of been a part of it or been willing to be a part of it, which is really cool. So I think they get it to an extent. But I don't know if they know the extent of what my content's like, and I don't really go into that either. But it is hard to explain to people.
Once you go into what your content is like, at least my family members have found my stream and they're like, you have a very bad potty mouth. And I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah, my mom
Well,
says that about me too.
My mom is like, she hears me sometimes. She's like, calm it down on the F words. I'm like, Mom, it's hilarious to people sometimes, okay? Like, I gotta use it sometimes, you know? Like, fuck, you know? Come on, Mom. Like, come on, let me be a streamer, you know? It's funny, though.
Yeah, the worst thing for me, my mom will, like, call me and bring something up that I talked about on stream. And we were having a conversation about like how we were conceived or like what the story was of like when your parents had, did the deed and had you. And my mom's like, do you want to know that story? I heard you talking. And I'm like, Mom, A, stop watching my stream. She'll like watch it later too. It's not live. She like puts it up at a different time. And I'm like, B, I'm good. Like, thank you, but no, thank you. Like, I don't want to know. And I say some weird stuff at the beginning. So I've been trying to like keep the like intro to my streams a little bit more calm because I think she'll get bored eventually and not watch it. So I'm like,
just don't talk about any, sexual intercourse or, nothing like that. No sex stories, no pajama pant boy stories. You know how it is,
Oh God, yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that probably ask you about streaming and being a dietitian, Tay. Do you have one that you prefer over the other? I wanted to kind of ask this. Like, I know it's a hard question, but if you could do full-time streaming, would you? Or would you stay a dietitian to help people?
I don't. So at the root of that question, I don't know if I prefer one over the other, but don't think I'd ever stop being a dietitian. I think that I'd always do it part-time, even if I took streaming to a more full-time basis. Yeah. And I've always said that dietitian work gives me something that streaming doesn't. And I think that they both have their positives. Like in both aspects, you can, impact people's lives for the better.
Yeah.
But that is so different for me in the medical setting. I get really like emotional working with some of my clients. I've been working with them for a long time. To see them like break through and have different successes and different things honestly like brings me to like, it chokes me up. It brings me to tears sometimes. So I'm not saying that streaming doesn't give that to me, because I think occasionally you'll get hit with a message of someone saying like, wow, your streams are like really impacting my lives. Like, thank you so much for like doing this every day. Like that happens for sure. And you mean a lot more to your chatters than they probably tell you at times. Like it is a community, it's a friendship, it's a lot, but I don't know. It's different in the medical setting. Yeah. And I wanted a job where I could help people. That's always where I've found, my purpose, I guess, in this world. Like I'm glad that I've figured that out early on. So I don't think I could ever give that up, but I'd definitely be cool with doing less and doing more streaming. So I guess I prefer streaming for different reasons. It doesn't feel, and I'm not saying streaming isn't a hard job, because it is, but it doesn't always feel as hard as what I do in my practice of what I do personally. But I would probably want more streaming, a little less dietitian work, but never give that up.
I wonder if there would be a way. I know like with a lot of dietitians, you guys have a company that you work for, right? Like a nutritional company or whatever, right? I wonder if it would be possible if you could make a company based around your stream that you do dietitian work for people. I don't know the legalities behind that, because it probably a lot of them, but I don't know. I just was thinking about it.
Yeah, creating my like own LLC, like my own company, which I have gotten a lot of people reach out. I'm very open to this. I'll help anybody if they come into my DMs and ask me. Like I love answering questions and helping. I used to do nutrition streams actually, so we'd like talk about things. They just didn't like stick around and take off. But I'm thinking about doing like some YouTube videos and stuff. Regardless, I think there's a lot of like people interested, like gamers and stuff. I mean, gamers are like, health looks different for them at times because of what we do. It's sedentary. But yeah, I don't know. And I would love, oh my gosh, I tell my boss all the time, I'm like, if I opened up what my company was and if I doxed myself and told everybody where I worked, I think we'd get a lot of consults and people interested. I'm like, there are people, across the board that have reached out to me about different things, but I try not to. I have doxed myself accidentally, but I try not to let the two merge too much. So that people can't find me and find my work.
Yeah. Well, I think right now, I think a lot of gamers are realizing how important their health is after COVID, right? Like COVID gave an excuse to be lazy to a lot of people, including myself, I wasn't necessarily the most active person during COVID. I gained a lot of weight. And I think people are coming around to realizing that, like, damn, like, I need to get up and do something. I need to go work out, or I need to eat better. You know, and I think a lot of people are coming around. So it's good for business, I'm sure. I don't know if you've noticed an increase at all in your workload. I think you have, because I think you've mentioned before that you're always busy. But I think people are coming around, and I think more importantly, gamers are coming around to realizing that sitting and playing video games is not going to be the future. You know, it's like you can play video games and you can be healthy, but you're not going to be able to play video games and be unhealthy. You know, like it's just the truth. Like people are turning around, it seems like, you know, so.
I saw a TikTok streamer that walks though while he games. And I have a
saw
walking pad
Valorant
too.
guy.
I just don't. Yeah, he plays Valorant, and my walking pad's like way back there. He plays Valorant like Resident Evil and stuff. I don't have a standing desk, so I can't do that. And I did try to walk and play COD on my controller, but I was so far away from the screen, it was really hard to see. And it also is like, I don't know how he does it, because it's like super.
He's nuts too. He's really good.
It's hard. Yeah, and he's walking at like a decent pace. Like, I don't know, I was about to fall off the dang thing, but I do like my walking pad. I definitely suggest one to anybody. Like, you can fit in steps kind of at any time when you want, and it's fun.
I love walking. I love running. I love runner's high. I just love the feeling of it. Like, it's just, I fucking love it. It's just such a good feeling. I wanted to ask though, I know you've been through a lot with streaming and such, especially with pushing partner as of recently. I'm sure you brought that up. Are you burnt out at all? I kind of wanted to ask this in regards to content creation. I know it takes a lot, especially when I was pushing partner, I was burnt. Like I got partner, I burnt out for like a month. Like it was incredibly hard. Are you burnt out? And if you aren't burnt out, like what do you do to kind of help that? And especially since you have a full-time job, like how is it with all that?
Yeah, so the partner push has been going on since like, gosh, probably when I got back from TwitchCon, things started ramping up. I applied for the first time in December. I've applied 6 times, gotten denied. It's not a problem, guys. Talk about it, be open about it. I think like it's important to be transparent, but I actually kind of took a step back from that because I was feeling it. Like, I think it went on for so long and I kept getting denied, and it, you know, streamers don't talk about like their failures or how things make them feel. Cause I think, you know, we have this front that we have to put on that like everything's fine all the time, but it did impact me a little bit. And I did feel like I put in a lot of energy. You know, when you work a full-time job, you're tired, and then you jump on stream and you're tired and you're kind of just pushing and pushing and pushing. And I love my community so much. And I think I didn't lose sight of that, but I think partner pushes kind of take you out of that, like, why you started this in the first place.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
What you
100%.
What you were looking to do, because you're just so focused on analytics and like this like measure of success that really now isn't that big of a deal, but like it does make you feel like validated probably when you get it. And I'm sure that if that happens to me someday, like but I did take like a week off and took a step back and was like, you know, I'm not looking at this in the same way that I have before, and I need to revert my thinking and kind of like, you know, relax about this. Also just like sleep and take care of myself. So I am streaming a little bit less now, and that's feeling a lot better for me. And, you know, that's not, the partner thing is still in, you know, it's there. It could happen, but like, it's not my priority anymore. Yeah, and I think having that setback really helped me. But yeah, burnout's real. And partner push is kind of gross, not gonna lie. It's a really tough thing to achieve. So everyone that has done it, congrats. But also, if you guys ever go on this journey, like, take your time with it. Don't feel rushed for it. I mean, it's always gonna be there, and you know, when it happens, it'll happen, right? Like, I think I'm a big believer in everything happening for a reason and like timing. And I think like it's just not at the time right for me because I need to take care of like myself, and that's like more important.
I always tell people when they're on a partner push or pushing towards to, you know, make it a full-time job, whatever it may be, I always tell people to stop looking at what you want and stop looking at what you want and look at what you have, right? A lot of people when in the partner push, they start looking, you know, I remember when I first started streaming, when I said I'd hit 10 viewer average, I was like, I'd be set, you know, like I'm fucking, that's so I'm cool. Him, you know, like I'm cream of the crop. Like I'm the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I hit 10 viewers and I'm like, damn, I won 20 now. And then it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Partner is one of the days that I felt probably the most satisfied with my streaming career. But I'll be honest with you, Tay, it lasted maybe a week. And then I realized, like, holy shit, I don't want 75 anymore. I want 85. And then don't even get me.
It's a never-ending.
It's a never-ending cycle. And then it eventually gets to the point where you are gonna have a down month. You know, you'll go from 85 to 65, and it's like, holy shit, what am I doing wrong? And that's a whole nother ball game. You know, like you have to determine what you're doing wrong. If you're doing anything wrong, it could be, you know, just
it could be nothing.
Like now, for example, I'm technically lower in my viewership, but it's summertime. People are outside doing things because, you know, COVID kept them in for so long. People are out working out and, you know, get in the gym session, whatever it may be. And it's summertime. Tarkov's in a stale state. You know, there's so much to go about it with, like how streaming is, you know, it's just, it's so hard, right? I always tell people from day one, you know, stop looking at what you want and look at what you have sometimes. And I think that's that's the best part. You can kind of look at that.
The dips are the hardest part, I think. 100%. And I think it's hard not to take that and like think of it as a reflection of yourself. And that's exactly what you said. You have to look at it differently. And I think that's what like also was really bothering me. And it's good to be, again, transparent about these things because I don't think everyone's comfortable talking about them. But like, you drop in viewers and you sit there and you're like, oh my God, why can't I make people, like, why don't people want to be here? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, what am I? Like, I must be just a really unfunny person that like nobody wants to be around. And it like starts to impact you like really like with your own self-esteem and your own self-worth. And like, I don't know, you have to try to like separate that and like get yourself back on track. And that's really what I did. It's like, I can't be feeling this shitty about myself, excuse my French, but like, it really like I started to internalize that and like just feel awful about me. And I was like, no. Cause like there are so many cool people that surround themselves with me. And I have a lot of friends in this space and that's not, you know, it's not a reflection of you as a person. I think
100%. It's important to have that mindset. It's also important to realize that shit sometimes hits the fan as a streamer. And content creation, it will shit will hit the fan. To just be brutally honest, there will be a time and day that like people think that you go live and it just, you know, goes straight up. It's like, no, bro, you do not understand anything about it. But I will let you live it, and then you can come back and tell me that I was right. But I wanted to ask a deeper question though in regards to content creation. If you could give your younger self years ago advice for streaming, what would it be? You know, I will be honest, though, Tay, a lot of people say that they wouldn't give themselves anything. They're proud of their progress and they're proud of the path that they're on. But I wanted to ask you if there's anything that you could tell yourself, like, you know, what would you tell yourself?
Well, I got into streaming and I was like the most ignorant person that could have ever gotten there. I had Twitch in my name when I started because I thought you had to. Or I thought it like made sense. I didn't really know like anything about the content creation world. I didn't know anything. So I probably would have just been like, hey girl, like research, like maybe watch a stream or two, figure out like how this stuff works. Cause I think I went into it just absolutely clueless and thinking like, I'm gonna take off cause I've got boobs, respectfully. Which again is like totally a very like even like now I know that's not the way to look at it. That's not how anyone should look at it. That's not the case. But literally I was like, yeah, this is going to be like super easy. And like, I just didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I probably would have just been like slow down, get familiar with like what streaming is and then go from there. Cause I laugh at some of like, I don't know if you pull up anything from my past and it's
trust me, it's literally the next section. Yep.
I know. I'm just saying ahead of time that like, I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. I ended up, one of my old college friends was a streamer and unfortunately we had a falling out, but he helped me a lot with like, he actually gave me my name and helped me figure everything out. So I've made it like from that part, but wow. In the beginning we were just struggling.
That's awesome that you brought it up because we actually found your original Twitch name I found your original Twitch name. That is going to actually put us in the next category. We are going to do a thing. So this is everybody's favorite, like every creator's favorite section. It is called Throwback Section, and we are not twerking. However, we are throwing it back and looking at some old tweets. Now, I did find some old tweets, and I found an old clip. So we'll work with that. Let me give me 2 seconds.
You're good.
I'm going to take off my camera, and I'm also going to stream the Coffee with Genooo tab. I'm going to full screen this and then do this, and then I'm going to do this. Bingo. All right, so you can see the Coffee with Genooo tab. This is a script. I'm sure you have that. I have a few tweets here, and then I also have a clip. We're not going to look over this one, but I found one of your first ever tweets. Now, your first ever tweet was actually you just saying, like, hi, I think. It was genuinely just saying hi. I really don't know what that was about. But I found one on the same day, all right? And it was this Call of Duty clip. It was August 17, 2020. I'm going to turn this off real quick so we can turn this up. Hold on.
Oh, God.
But this is a clip, I guess. I don't know if you remember this. I love how the audio is delayed.
The audio is delayed, and it's on the Kinect camera. Like, that was the Kinect camera setup. That was the Xbox. There's a lot of things going wrong here.
The quality is something else, that's for sure.
I still have that shirt though, and I still wear it on stream. I wore it the other day.
So funny. So I found this. This was your first ever tweet in regards to like clips and stuff. It was the same day, August 17, 2020. I would like to point out that I usually find tweets from like 2009, 2010. I wasn't able to find one for you. All right, this was back in 2020. I was 19 at this time. I'm 22 now, so this is a bit of an older clip. But I found this, and then moving past this clip, I was actually able to find something else. You tweeted this July 17, 2021. It's 2021, and Valorant is now the most successful dating app to ever exist. And Tater said, maybe I need to play Val.
I didn't play it back then.
Okay, so we definitely found that one. Yeah, that was something else. I do not recommend going to Valorant to date or to use as a dating app, however. But yeah, I found this. This was July 17th, 2021. So this was a year after the last one.
COVID
and then,
put me in a dry spell, guys. You gotta give me some like.
Yeah, shout out Valorant. Hell nah. Nope. Get Valorant out of here. And then the last one I think is pretty funny is considering you're a Tarkov player now, you said, Call of Duty is really making me mad lately. I need a new game. I'm not someone who rages, and these cheaters really drive me crazy. So this was back in July of 2021, and I'm fairly certain you could replace Tarkov is really making me mad lately. I need a new game. I'm not someone who rages, and these cheaters are really driving me crazy. I think it's funny to me that you went from one to another evil.
One evil to, But COD was really bad back in the day. I mean, I don't know. Tarkov, I can never tell if people are cheating or if I'm just like not good at the game. COD, I could like kind of tell.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't know what's worse. The fact that you made this tweet about Call of Duty, or the fact that everybody recommended Apex. This guy recommended Apex, this guy recommended Apex, and then this guy Apex. So
I was an Apex gamer for a while before Warzone came out, but not on stream.
I did see a few Apex clips, which I found were funny, but I think it's just completely ironic at the fact that you said Call of Duty is really making me mad lately, and everybody voted Apex. Like, it's not going to make you more mad.
I know.
But that was a funny experience for sure. And then lastly, I have a clip of yours, and this was when you were playing with Wildez and Joey. And I'll be honest, before I start this clip, Tay, I found a lot of clips that I could have used here, and a lot of them were questionable.
They're so questionable.
But we'll let this one play because I think it's hilarious.
Good, keep going. It's great.
He's a bathroom.
I'm barking at you, bitch! Don't shoot me!
I think it's actually hilarious that, like, I've never heard Like I've heard dogs in people's mic, but I've never heard
Maybe
somebody
a dog.
bark as a
I
dog.
won like a dog barking competition at like a minor league baseball game one time.
Yo, we found Tater Lore, dog barking competition. That's where this came from. You sound like a really mean pit bull right there, and then you kind of sounded like a chihuahua.
Yeah, like the little.
I like the
high
two
pitch. You can
different
change it up.
tones. You know?
Yeah, we don't know
I like
which
the
one
two
they're gonna
different
get
tones.
scared
That's
of.
really, yeah. I mean, you definitely gave them options for sure. And then I found it hilarious that you got shot at, and you're like,
I'm barking at you, bitch.
Yeah.
Don't shoot me.
I thought that was hilarious.
I love
Oh my
playing with
god,
Will and Joey.
yeah, they're
funny dudes.
hilarious. I love Will. I love Joey. They're both good dudes. But then that's funny to me. But that's the throwback section. I'm going to put my camera back on. I'm gonna put this camera back on, and then I'm gonna make sure.
I don't remember.
There we go.
I just like surprised I tweeted about Valor. Like I don't remember that tweet at all.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's. I thought it
Dark
was.
ages.
I thought it was hilarious. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we could dig in your past a little bit. Damn, that was loud. I'm sorry, chat. Anyway, you didn't get to hear that, Tay, but it was. I just accidentally played the music and it was very loud. Anyway, we have one more thing before moving on from the throwback question. I always like asking. The progress you've had over the years. Is there anything you wish you did differently? Not even as a creator. Like I just asked that as a creator, but anything as a human you wish you did differently. You know, whether it be different career choice or I don't know, something crazy. You know, like anything you wish you did differently.
Gosh, I don't know. Like again, I feel like things happen for a reason, and I'm content with where I'm at. Maybe get into like from a creating standpoint, get into Tarkov sooner. I think would have been cool. Again,
Yeah.
I feel like I got into it a little bit late. I started playing in 2021, 2022, so like it was not right when it came out. Or just get a PC sooner. I never played PC games for the longest time. It was like a huge shock when I got one and was exposed to so many things. But no, I not necessarily.
Okay. There's
Maybe
nothing wrong with that.
Start streaming, start PC.
Yeah, I always
earlier.
tell people it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? And a lot of people tell me that. It's funny because I had before this script, the last person, or it was a few people ago, I asked if you're when you got Twitch partner, or if you could restart streaming, but the first time that you streamed, you started as a Twitch partner with average viewership. You could either start with the Twitch partner straight up, or you could start with nothing again. So many of the creators said nothing, and I think that's how a lot of people are really, Tay. Like I think people enjoy the journey a lot more than
grind is cool.
Yeah, exactly, and it teaches you stuff, right? And
so much so.
I'm kind of glad I brought that up because we're gonna move on to the life and mental health section, which is, in my opinion, the most important part. And I always tell creators, I don't think there's going to be any questions in here that are too deep, but if there's any question that you don't want to answer, feel free to just bring it up.
Yeah.
I think I asked pretty good questions though. But moving on, I wanted to ask you about your condition. This section I really wanted to focus on. I wanted to bring up your diagnosis with POTS. For the ones who might not know anything, what is it? I wanted to ask about POTS.
Talk about it. Sure. So POTS stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's technically like an autoimmune condition, but I always call it a heart condition because it impacts my heart the most. I've been diagnosed since 2018, but it took a long time to get diagnosed. I probably went through about a year and a half of my life where things were pretty dark, we were unsure of what was going on. But the doctor says I've probably had it for most of my life. It just, came to fruition after college and all that. I was working full time as a clinical dietitian in a hospital, and I was really struggling. I would get extremely dizzy, tired. I don't know. A lot of weird things were cropping up, and I started seeing a lot of doctors. I had a sinus surgery. I did a lot of testing. I saw pretty much every doctor in the book. Passed around going to psychologists and psychiatrists because I do have a history of actually I have OCD, so I don't know if people are familiar with that as well. It's not just keeping your room clean. I have health anxiety and medical OCD, so I oftentimes will check my vitals a lot, or I'll Google things. That's a compulsion. So OCD is a pretty challenging thing to live with. It's a little different than anxiety, but basically you're doing rituals or you're doing things to like make your anxiety lessen, right? So I definitely had a history of like anxiety and mental health stuff, and POTS is often pushed off as that. People don't always see the difference. Not everyone's educated on it. So for a long time, I was kind of gaslit by even my family, which they feel bad about now. My family and like medical professionals, that I was just like really anxious, and like that was all that it was. But I was like having bouts of like really bad vertigo during exercise, and I'd shower and feel really, really crummy. And it like stuff just didn't make sense. So when I got the diagnosis, it was really nice, but it took a long time for people to understand, both in my family and friends. I actually lost my 2 college best friends over a trip that we went on, where things just didn't work out like they could have, you know, and they thought I was kind of like turning my illness on and off. It's a very unpredictable illness.
Yeah.
So some days I wake up and I feel great, and other days I wake up and I need to take it easy and not do as much. And it's been, I think when I was first diagnosed and when I first went through it, it was probably one of the harder things that I've ever dealt with. And again, like I said, I've stayed at a psych ward. I've been in inpatient care, residential treatment for my mental health and physical health. I also had, I talk about this more so now, but I didn't like to talk about it before. I had an eating disorder for a little bit related to kind of this health stuff. So there was a lot that I was dealing with, and I was in a pretty dark place. I was bedbound for probably 8 months or considerably bedbound. So I didn't do activity. I didn't like to leave my house. My room was my safe space. I didn't like to I feel dizzy like chronically, and I didn't like to feel dizzy out in public spaces because it would like panic me. Kind of was feeding into each other. So physical health feeding into mental health, like it's just vicious cycle. So that's when I was getting in my Rainbow Six Siege days, and I just play video games all the time because it was the only thing that like made me feel good and kind of like get my mind off of like what I was experiencing in my life. My parents actually would threaten to take my Xbox away. They didn't like that I spent all my time on it. They thought it was like hurting me more than helping me. My mom was like ready to like throw it in the garage and toss it and like break it, I swear. But I did stay with my aunt for a considerable amount of time. This could be like a very long story. I'll try to keep it concise, but I stayed with my aunt because my parents were literally like, we can't take care of you right now. Like you're a 23-year-old woman that like is having a lot of problems, and like we have jobs, like you need somebody to be with you. My aunt like is more of like a, you know, stay at home in her adulthood. So I stayed with her for a while, and she like heard me on my Xbox one night playing with friends and was like, you sound the most normal when you're like doing that. Like you sound like your old self. They'd always refer to me as my old self. And that's kind of tricky if you ever get around somebody that has something going on. That was a really difficult thing for me to grasp. And they don't say that anymore because I told them it's more harmful than it is helpful. But it was tough. And but they realized that gaming was beneficial, and I think they've seen that, you know, as it's gone on. And obviously now I work full time again, and I've come a long way, and I moved away from home, which was a big thing. I lived with my parents for a long time into my adulthood. Moved about 2 hours away from them initially to see how I would do with it, and then now I'm like 6 to 8 hours away in North Carolina. So it just like, I don't know, it really stunted like a lot of my mid-20s. I lost, I feel like, a good chunk of that, but I am so grateful for where I'm at now, even if it's not perfect. And I don't talk about it as much anymore because I think I am like a little bit more in, I wouldn't say remission, but I deal a lot better with it now. It's not as problematic, but there's still days that are hard. And yeah, it's just been a crazy thing to live with. But I think even though I strongly dislike it, and there's a lot of like sacrifices in my life I've had to make, I think it's made me really empathetic for what other people go through.
100%.
And just like even working with clients every day, like I'm just really understanding of people's struggles and like what they go through. So yeah, that's a long story short, but basically now the way that it impacts me, I do a lot of things seated. Anything standing, moving is a little bit tougher. I take dance classes, which is something that I used to do, but I sit for a lot of my I sit and I learn the choreography on the floor, and then I'll stand up and do it occasionally. I've been getting into walking, which is good, and exercise actually helps. It just is hard to get into. I sit down in the shower. I have a shower chair. I don't drive a lot because driving's hard. So if you guys saw me at,
hold on. Sorry. Shower chair.
Yeah, like
that's
seated
sick as shit. Yo, where
it's
can
sick, but it makes me feel like I'm 80.
no, hell no. The shower chair is sick as hell. I want to. Call me crazy. I want a fucking shower chair.
You could get one. They're chill. And I used like I used a motorized like scooter thing at TwitchCon. So if you guys see me like out in public at events, like either I'm probably looking for a chair or I am using some kind of like device to like help. So I rode around in one of those at TwitchCon. But yeah, just like random things that it impacts. But if you guys ever have like more questions on that or anything, again, super open about that. Trying to also make some content around it lately, like YouTube videos and stuff. But
that's
I'm
awesome.
very happy to not be in the place that I was, a few years
and
back.
it seems like it. I mean, it doesn't seem like I know you're doing a lot better. Like comparative to the stories that you gave me and stuff. It's really cool seeing that, and it's also cool that like. A lot of people, when they go through a lot of stuff like that, right, they're afraid to talk about it or they're not open about it. And I think it's really cool that you have decided to not only like talk about it, but also make content around it, and bring up, more recognition around it. Because I don't think, if you ask like some random dude on the street, he might not know what, POTS is, right? Like he might not know, that condition. And it's cool bringing awareness to that sort of thing, right? Especially, in Escape from Tarkov, where it's a heavily driven male community that like they don't. I'll be honest with you, the Tarkov community is very, like that not understanding, but like they usually don't care. So it's cool that you're bringing it to a community that I feel like could use a little more knowledge. So good for you. That's really really cool. Now
you.
Speaking about gaming and stuff, I wanted to kind of go back to the whole gamer situation. And with you being a dietitian, I know us gamers don't really take care of ourselves, like just truthfully, right? Like we don't. But I wanted to ask you, what's one thing us gamers can do to at least be partly healthy? Like if somebody in chat comes in and they're like, hey, I'm not feeling good about myself, like what, or I'm not feeling good about my diet. What's one thing that they can do to kind of better themselves?
Think like focus on what you can add in your health and nutrition rather than take away. So I always encourage more fruits and vegetables because they're amazing and you should eat them as long as you like them. If you don't like them, ask me how to make them better. I've got recipes I can throw your way.
That's sick.
But yeah, I'm a big like just change a little bit up with your diet. Add more fruits and vegetables. Don't worry about like eliminating things and limiting things, but like what can I do more? And even just like walking. We were talking about walking earlier. I've got my little walking pad behind me. Pushing for like a better step goal. I think like a lot of us are super sedentary, not only as gamers, but like my job is seated all the time. Like even my day job, I don't get a lot of steps in. So just getting out and getting more walking or getting in the sun is so good for us too. A lot of people are vitamin D deficient, gamers especially. Don't be afraid of the grass. So yeah, fruits and vegetables, sunlight, steps. Probably
Awesome.
Like my three areas.
Just perfect. I'll be honest with you. I like fruits and veggies, but I think I'm allergic to some of the pesticides companies use. Like, I know it's not technically on it, but like what they treat them with, I think.
Yeah.
Because like
What happens to you?
So when I eat vegetables, this mainly happens with cucumber. Okay. So cucumber is something that I react to a little bit. My lips will swell up. Now it's not, I know it sounds crazy, but it's not like it, I'd have to eat a lot of them. I'm also allergic to blueberries, which is I love blueberries. They're my favorite fruit. Yeah, they're my favorite fruit. I found out I was allergic to them because I ate so much. I ate a whole carton one time that I started reacting to it. Like I didn't react to the first one. I reacted to like the 1000th one. It was crazy, but I my lips will sometimes swell up. Like I won't get itchy and my throat won't get itchy, but my lips, like it's like when the pesticides, I don't know, it's weird.
Well, there is something called oral allergy syndrome where if you have seasonal allergies, sometimes you'll react to like raw fruits and veg. It depends on the type. So that could be something you're experiencing. It usually is more of a localized like mouth reaction where you might have swelling or itching in your mouth or even in your throat, but it doesn't turn into something systematic.
Yeah.
But what can help you is just like eating cooked things. If it's something you can cook, you don't really, I guess if you ate like a blueberry muffin or something and it was like baked into something or cucumbers aren't really cooked into things. I love cucumbers too. You're like my favorite vegetable, my favorite fruit. You can't eat. I eat cucumbers like crazy.
I love cucumbers. I like pickles. I've been on like I'm in such a weird like food kick. Not to get away from the podcast, but like
no, you're good.
I've been in such a weird kick. I've been getting the gas station like bagged pickles. They're called the one that I get is called Sassy Bites. They're like slightly spicy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I feel like a pregnant woman. Like when I go into the gas station because I get a granola chocolate chip chunk bar in a bag of pickles.
Just
And I'm just
big
like
pickle. Yeah.
and I get a liquid death and I'm like, dude, this does not look good
This
if I'm
looks like I'm just
the cash register is definitely eyeing me up like what the hell is this guy eating? You know,
Yeah.
but no, I'm glad
Blame it
that
on someone
going
else.
back to the podcast, I'm glad that you brought up the whole exercise thing. Sunlight's very important. You know, getting in your steps and diet is probably the best thing that you can do. That's I'm very, very glad that you brought that up. I wanted you to explain more. We've talked about it a lot more than I figured we would by this point, but I wanted you to explain more about being a dietitian, where it started, and what do you do for people? Like, what specifically do you do in your day-to-day job?
Yeah, so I mentioned that like I got into it because of my mom and then like knew that I was going to go to school for it. I typically see clients. I'll see like, I don't know, 40, 50 clients a week and I work on a lot of different things. I've like centered in around like female hormones, but I've also done things with like weight gain, sports nutrition. I do a lot of weight loss. I do bariatric surgery things. I work with clients that have diverticulitis, IBS, so like a lot of the GI conditions, like acid reflux. It's literally everything. We kind of get a little bit of like all of it. And we have a program at my work. Hopefully this doesn't dox me too much. I don't think it will. That works with people that want to lose weight for kidney donations. So I've like helped facilitate a couple kidney donations because people have met their weight loss goals and then they've been able to like give an organ because organ donation has like specific rules. So a little bit of it all. But we meet over Zoom and we talk for like 25 minutes and we just like I'm active listening and counseling them back and helping them with like, you know, a lot of it honestly anymore is like very like emotional stuff. I feel like emotional eating is a huge thing in my career in general. I think it's a huge thing with people. So it's almost like a therapy session at times.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's like a therapist, but like for food, you know, like you talk about diets and stuff. That's still sick. And it's important for people, you know. I feel like, you know, therapists can recommend, you know, eat your fruits and veggies, but it wouldn't hit the same as somebody as a registered dietitian saying it, you know, like fucking eat your fruits and veggies, you know, like okay, you know, like I got you, you know. So no, that's sick. That's sick. I'm glad that you can. That's really. It's just cool helping people. Like I help people every single day with mental health and stuff, but it's really cool the diet side. Like I'll be honest with me looking at my diet and stuff, going to the gym and stuff. It's been really interesting to kind of like dive into it, and it's made me think about like, could I can't technically make plans for people because I don't want to get in the legalities of things, right? Like I don't want to, you know, not be registered, but it's like. When somebody comes in and will ask, like, yo, what's your favorite low-cal food? I go off on a tangent about it. Yeah. You know, like, I'm going, after this stream here today, Tay, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. I'm getting a lettuce-wrapped spicy chicken sandwich, add extra pickles, add bacon, and then a mac and cheese. And that whole meal is like 450 calories. I can eat, I can order food tonight, and I can also have some beverages. You know,
like planning it out, you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I have a whole thing on my notes. Like the past week, I've been counting my calories, and it's just it's such a cool thing. Like I love weight loss and like dietitian and stuff. Like it's really cool.
It's a career that everyone I think is interested in. Like my mom always says that if she would have gone to school, that's what she would have studied. And I think a lot of people like find it an interesting career, but it's tough too. I mean, people share a lot of really heavy things.
100%.
You definitely have to kind of like unpack, like separate yourself from your workspace. But no, I really like it. I really like when I'm successful with helping people. You know, it happens more often than not. People say very nice things. And yeah, we just like, I do a little bit of planning as well. I do diet planning. You know what actually is really good if anyone else ever wants to like explore this world, and I'm not saying this to like cut myself of a job, but ChatGPT does amazing work with meal plans. If you ever like want to say like, hey, I've got this many calories, I want to, you know, eat this many calories from protein.
That's really crazy though.
Crazy. I just found out the other day because one of my clients was like, I want meal plans every week. And I was like, hey, can't do that for you, but let's use a tool to help us because I don't have the time. We look at things at my job in terms of like portions of food. So We actually don't count calories for the reason being that like it's not always sustainable for people, and it can feel like just a lot of numbers and craziness. But we look at things in servings. So I'll give someone a meal plan and it'll be like you've got 6 fat servings, 5 starches, 3 vegetables, 2 fruits, and then you're just trying to get those different food groups. Sometimes with counting calories, not always. But I mean, I could eat like 5 pieces of cake, be at my calorie limit, and just like chill for the day. But am I getting the best quality nutrition out of, eating pieces of cake? Am I feeling full? Am I satisfied with this? So we try to do, that good variety of all the food groups, because if you do all that, you're getting good fiber, you're getting the nutrients that you need. You feel full typically when you have a meal that's balanced, like you going to Chick-fil-A and getting something that's got protein and starch and fat, that's going to fill you up more than you just going and having like 6 donuts and not, so there are foods that obviously make us feel better than others. And we really try to focus on that. It does work, I think, long-term better, but calorie counting is still like the basis. If someone's like, I want to lose weight, I'm like, well, do you check in with yourself of how much you're eating? And if they say no, I'm like, you got to do that first. I can't help you until you know like where you are in comparison to where you should be, because if we don't know how much we're eating, we're going to be just like in the dark and clueless.
100%. I heard a recommendation, and I'm sure we could go down a rabbit hole about it, but take everything that you eat in a week, like day of the day limit, or like how much you eat calorie wise, and then average it at the end of the week, and then see how much like that's what you eat average on a weekly basis, and then minus it by however much or plus it by however much, considering if you're trying to gain or lose weight. But that's what people have always told me. Speaking about which, I wanted to talk about diets. This is kind of a weirder question, but I wanted to ask it because it's kind of funny to me with me getting into like weight loss and stuff. I've heard some crazy diets. I want to ask you though. I've gone to you about a bunch with health advice and also talking diets. With you being in the field, is there any diets you've heard of that is incredibly different? Like I know the carnivore diet is a very, very different one for me. I'm sure it's not necessarily the best for your heart.
No,
but
one of my clients is doing carnivore diet right now, and I just had to kind of sit there and be like, he's like, I know you're not going to like to hear this. And I'm like, I don't, but like, I'm going to let you try and fail, honestly. The thing about dieting, and I'll say this about keto, and I'll say this about carnivore, I'll say this about anything, is like, if it's not sustainable for you to do forever, don't do it. Like that's just plain and simple. Like you have to find something, because if you try a diet and you go on it and then you get off of it and you gain, like that's the yo-yo dieting thing, right? So my big thing in the practice that I work at, and what I've been like really opened up to in the last couple of years, is this concept of intuitive eating. And people hear that word and it's kind of like eat what you want when you want. And they're like, well, if I wanted Chick-fil-A all the time, I'm not going to get anywhere with my health goals. But it's within reason, right? Like if you have a craving for something and you want to consume it, you shouldn't just, eat it and or like push it aside and never consume it. Because what happens when we avoid our cravings is we eventually binge them. If I tell myself I want a donut and then I'm like, I can't, that restriction, or you want to rebel or whatever it is, you overeat that thing, then you feel guilty about it and you're like, oh, why did I do that? That was awful. I got to get back to my diet. I got to, and it just turns into this cycle of like restrict, binge, restrict, binge, restrict, And our idea is that like, hey, you can eat what you want when you want. All food is fuel, as long as it's in like the proper portions and you're being considerate of that. So I don't like tell anybody that any food's off limits, because I think that's what a lot of diets do. Like the carnivore diet are really like hyper fixated on like particular foods. We don't do that, but at the same time, like some foods are better to eat than others. You should be focusing on certain things. So that's kind of how I look at it. Diet wise, I'm not a big fan of things like the carnivore diet. I think it's missing key components. There's a lot of research out there and everyone feels different on different things. I know people tell me they feel better doing keto or carnivore, and I'm like, live your life, like do whatever, but also if it's not going to work for you long term, I think you got to find something else. You're just going to
100%. I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the what is it? I think it's like the water cleanse. You only drink water for 7 days, I've heard, or some shit. I'm like,
people think that they need to cleanse their body. That's the other thing. We have organs that like do that for us. That's why you have a kidney. That's why you have a liver. Like you don't need to do. I don't know. I still get clients that come to me and have really skewed things where they're like, I'm buying these drinks from Target and I'm just going to do them for a couple days because it helps my cravings go away. I'm like, no, it does. Like people tell me they're miserable doing these things. I'm like, why are you doing it then? Like diets don't need to be miserable. You don't need to be like starving on them. It just, it's so, I don't know. There's so much on the internet, and like even when I come into your chat, I know I was in here a couple weeks ago and we were on like GLP-1 conversations. There's just so much out there, and people believe stuff, and it's really hard to keep my mouth shut and sit on my hands.
Oh,
when
100%.
like,
I was getting mad,
oh my
right?
God.
Like I found this wonderful creator on TikTok. Her name is Sam. She does, she has PCOS, which we were talking about, and she does these fast food meals, and she basically just said like, she realizes that not everybody wants to meal prep or cook, right? Like people want to just be themselves, and what I realized is that, wow, I went to the gym in a town that had a bunch of fast food. What if I didn't have to get rid of the fast food and I could eat it while still being healthy, right? And I've found so many different, things that I can have. For example, you talk about cravings and stuff. I went to Popeyes the other day. And my meal is 5-count blackened chicken tenders, which is like their grilled nuggets, and then a side of mashed potatoes with gravy, right? And the whole thing is 395 calories, right? Like, great.
Yeah.
They gave me a biscuit, and I was like, I can't have this biscuit. I looked at it, but it's funny with the cravings thing, and just like a calorie deficit. I know you said that you don't really do calorie deficits at your work, but
well, we do with baseline, but we don't.
You do portions and stuff, right? And I'll be honest, I looked at the biscuit. I was like, I'm really wanting you right now. Like, you have a lot of butter that I want, and I was craving it.
Good.
And I told myself, I was like, you only have one life to live. Okay,
exactly.
You gotta be not miserable. You can't just let a Popeyes biscuit go to waste. What you will do is eat this biscuit, and you will eat less later. And that's what I did. I just, instead of having my boba drink or going to Royal Farms and getting a chicken slider or something like that, I just had the Popeyes biscuit. Did I feel bad about myself? Not really. I felt actually pretty good. I like the Popeyes biscuit, but it's been really cool getting in the fast food and stuff. I know it's not necessarily the best ingredients, but it's really cool finding low-calorie options for fast food, and some of the things are really cool. Right. You can have sweet treats and stuff like that. And I was getting really mad at chat the other day. I was like, how do you lose weight when you're literally eating fried chicken? I'm like, calories are calories. And they kept arguing. It's like, it's not good calories. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter, at least right now. As long as you aren't doing this shit every day, like, it's not, I don't think it's necessarily going to be an issue.
If you have other health conditions, I think if you're like dealing with high cholesterol or something, like their quality of food is important, and if you get a stall in your weight loss, sometimes with my clients I'll look at the quality of food, but overall calorie deficit is calorie deficit. All food is fuel, and we have to keep reinforcing that these people that are, I don't even call foods good and bad anymore. I literally don't put a label on them, because putting a label on them is reinforcing that, like, if I eat something that like I don't think is nutritionally sound for myself, then I'm going to feel this guilt, and it's going to make me, again, it's going to create these problems. So I'm really big on, like, we're not going to put labels on things. We're just eating things to eat them, and it's okay, and finding our way through that. I don't know. I think diet culture is just really, really crazy, and I spend a lot of my time undoing it in my job. Like, I really do. I'm like, we got to think and look at things differently, because we can't just keep, like, feeling guilty. And like you said, life's worth living. I'm never going to, like, tell somebody that they can't consume things because they don't, like, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot that I can say about it.
100%. I think a lot of, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but I've heard a lot. You can kind of work yourself into an eating disorder, correct? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can, like, for example, like, my gym buddy is very, very, like, conscious about what he eats. Like, he weighs his food out, and I'm like, dude, like, I think that's really cool that you can do this, but like, he'll go on vacation and get chicken and rice at a fucking fancy restaurant. I'm like, dog, you need to live a little bit, man. Like, you need to experience, like, a little chicken fried steak or something once in a while, man. Like,
it's just so boring too.
Yeah,
like,
it's like that's what I hate about diets, is that, no disrespect to anybody on a diet, but like, it's just boring to me. Like, I don't want to fucking do chicken and rice. I want to go to the Chick-fil-A and get some fries or a mac and cheese, dude. Like, come on. But no, going back to the diet thing, how much does diet actually affect your day-to-day life? I know you said sleep earlier, but diet. Let's talk about diet. It really impacts your life, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I think like just in general, when we eat things, it turns into like sugar most of the time in our bloodstream, right? A lot of the foods that we eat, and that affects our blood sugar directly. Even if you're not diabetic, your blood sugar's doing things like that's still a thing. It's how, everything goes. So if we're eating certain foods and our blood sugar has like very big spikes and rises, we're gonna feel fatigued. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced like an afternoon slump, but it's typically related to like how many starches and carbohydrate consuming foods you're having in the day. And again, those are good things. Like we need carbs for energy, but if you overdo it or underdo it, you're going to like people that are on keto that are tired, or people that like, if I found if I eat a Jersey Mike's sub for lunch, I'm so tired after. Yeah. And it's related to like the amount of bread that they have, and just probably finding like a balance with that. I love Jersey Mike's, but like I got to figure it out. But like that all is related to like the types of foods that we're eating and how that's then being like absorbed in our bloodstream. So like it does really impact like energy, I would say, the most. In terms of other things, I mean, obviously if you have like other things going on, like people get GI conditions, there's so many connections with like your health. Like if you have high stress, like you might experience like irritable gut things happening, like things happening in your gut, like the brain gut connection that you
feel
hear
like
about.
That
and, like,
happened with me. I was struggling when I was going through my breakup. I was really like I almost felt like I had like IBS or something like that. Like it was fucking bad.
It
like,
gets really bad. Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. I looked it up. I'm not a fan of, looking your symptoms up, because Google will tell you that you have bone cancer and you're going to die in 5 months. But it's crazy. It's like, I'm a firm believer in that. It's like, when you think good, you also eat good, and when you eat good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you think good. It's like a constant cycle, kind of like what you were bringing up earlier, So
right.
It
just influences our clarity, our energy. I think that's the biggest influence that food has day to day. And then of course, like there's certain things like bloating and your bowel habits and all that can be influenced as well, and that can make you feel good or bad. Again, it's all just depending on the person and what you got going on too. If you got any other kind of chronic conditions, which I deal a lot with, and they can come about from not taking care of your body. So you think like, oh, I'm young, I'm never gonna become diabetic or have high cholesterol, but like you have the genetic disposition for it, and then you're doing the things that can make it come about, then it might be here sooner than you think. Like genes aren't everything, and just because your family has it doesn't mean you're going to get it. But it's kind of like if you open up yourself to bad habits and you have the genetic components of it all, you're really putting yourself in a tough place.
It's like I don't know a good example of it, but I remember somebody said that they have genetics in their family of like heart failure at 50, and I'm like, and then they're like, I'm still gonna smoke anyway. It's like, brother, you are just adding on to it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy how powerful the human body is. I've always found like space interesting, but it is crazy how interesting the human body is. Like I look at stars and shit, and I'm like, holy fuck, stars are sick. But then I look at the human brain, I'm like, we do some really cool stuff. I don't know. There's prime examples out there, but I always found it really, really cool. Moving past your day to day, though, I know we talked a lot about your job. I want to ask about balance, though. How do you feel like you balance your job and stream? Like, how do you feel with balance?
Not well. It's probably my biggest downfall right now.
I get that a lot. Don't worry.
My day job is extremely intense right now. We are like a small business, so I think we're trying to get past that small business feel. So I, again, at times see like 16 clients a day for like 30 minutes at a time. It's kind of all day active listening. It's not great for me. I feel like I don't always practice what I preach. I'm a big stress eater, and I've been totally comfortable in my body personally. So I can, again, relate to a lot of people going through their own health journeys. I never had an issue with weight until probably like recently. Not that it's an issue, but like, I think it's all about how we feel physically. Like scale's a number, don't even think about that. But if you don't feel good in your clothes or in your body, that's when you should make a change. And that's happened to me recently because I think of the stress. So my balance isn't great. I'm working on it. I, again, got a walking pad. I'm trying to get more steps in and be less sedentary. Sleep is always a challenge for me. I'm really bad at it. I stay up pretty late and don't ever sleep for the hours that I need to. I love sleep, but I have to wake up early and I don't fall asleep well.
So the problem with me is that I fall asleep too quickly. So when I hit my bed, it's like instant, I'm out.
Yeah.
and
That's good though. That's what you want.
yeah, you do want it, but then your friends are like, come on, another game, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like
Oh my
I've
gosh,
sacrificed so much,
Well,
all my friends play at night and I can't play. It makes me fucking sad. But
Yeah.
no, I'm glad that you brought that up because sleep is very important too. The people don't talk about sleep.
So important. So yeah, balance is not great, but it's something that I think in the last couple of like months I've been like, okay, I really have to figure this out. And even if it means like I still care about my clients a lot, but giving a little bit of a less care around my day job and trying to just bring myself back to reality there. It's not life or death, anything that I do. So, I mean, it is to an extent, but not immediately. So yeah, just trying to not put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. It's like, I feel like people, like you kind of said earlier with the diet thing, I feel like people live miserably nowadays. Like I'm going to run 8 miles today and I have never run a mile before. And I'm like, okay, like,
Rip.
I will see you next week when you are not running a mile, like, it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot of people overcomplicate things, especially as adults nowadays, So I wholeheartedly agree. What about family though? Do you balance family time with everything? Like, is that?
I think so. Yeah. I live far away from my family now, so that's a little bit harder for sure. But I still try to see them. My dad actually just texted me while we were doing this. He's asking me what I'm doing today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I call them like all the time, going on a vacation with my family, coming up to the beach. So I still see them a lot. And again, when I'm around, they're really interested in streaming. So that helps that they're supportive.
Yeah.
But also with my day job, they're like, you have to work to make money. They're very old fashioned thinking. Even if I tell them like, hey, this is feeling really overwhelming, they're like, doesn't matter. It makes you money. I don't know if anyone else's parents is like that, but I balance them pretty well. And I think friends outside of streaming space is also really good, or in streaming space, whatever works, wherever you find your grouping of people. But I do try to get out in Charlotte and hang out with people. That's awesome. IRL too. So I think it's important. Yeah.
Charlotte's beautiful as well. I think I flew. How far is Charlotte from RDU? Is that far?
Wait,
how far from Charlotte and RDU? Raleigh.
Oh, Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh. Yeah. The airport. The airport. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know the name of it.
No. It's all good.
2.5 hours. I think.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I flew in the Raleigh, and Raleigh looked pretty fucking sick. So I'm sure
Charlotte.
Cool. I'm sure Charlotte's good. I want to go to Asheville so badly. I know. My God. I need to go to Asheville. It's a goal.
I love it here.
It's a goal.
I love it here, but I'm from Ohio, and a lot of people know that. And I also support Ohio. Very much. I'm a big Ohio enjoyer, and people that meme about it, I get.
Yeah, you part of the meme, the Ohio meme. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
With you pushing partner though, I wanted to ask, what are some of the things you've been doing to get away from the computer? Because I think that's very important, especially with the partner push.
Well, it's summertime, so I'm a very big outdoors enjoyer, even being a streamer. I don't know if every streamer's like that, but I'm like obsessed with going outside. So I get sun like as much as I can. Yeah. We have a pool at our apartment. I go down. I'm actually gonna probably go after this and go hang out down there. I think some of my friends are already down there from the building. So I love going to the pool. I love being outside. We have a lot of lakes here. We have hikes. I don't hike very much because of my POTS. Uphill walking is insane for me. But yeah, I just try to get out and just also like take time for me doing things that relax me. So it's a lot of like Disney Dreamlight and the chill things. Having those games off stream that like you enjoy that aren't, gaming on stream and gaming off stream are like two very different things. And I think anyone that streams will tell you that. So making sure that you have stuff that you enjoy outside of it that you can kind of relax to. And I listen to a lot of podcasts, including this one.
Podcasts are great.
Have, like a bunch of favorite ones. I just listened to one this morning when I was getting ready. So
what are some of your favorites out of curiosity?
Tiny Meat Gang is one that I've listened to a lot, which is Cody Ko and Noel Miller. If anyone's familiar with them, I listen to them. I just recently got really into Forehead Fables, which is General Sam's podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. And I used to watch Gamer Hole, which was like Aqua and them. So I'm into some of like the gamers, again, like this gamer creating podcast. I don't know what else. I listen to like a lot of different things. So, but yeah, I just love, I love all podcasts. I listen to what is the other one that I? No, it's not even in my brain. Never mind, I lost it. But I love podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
podcasts
music.
are great. I'll be honest, I don't listen to podcasts as much as I should. I would listen
okay.
to them on long drives, and I don't really drive
Yeah.
long anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just
okay.
it's just not a
Whoops.
not watching
talking to me.
not watching podcasts much anymore. But I kind of wanted to, this is kind of the same question, but I wanted to ask with like outside of creation in your job, what is your go-to like get away from everything activity? Like for
Yeah.
example, I would like to point out the other day when I messaged you about being on the podcast, I think it was last Sunday or something like that. You just messaged me a random picture of being at a fucking, I don't know what it was like
Where was I?
it was like what do you
I was outdoors. I was at a quarry. That's where I was.
yeah, just a random ass day for Tater is going to a quarry and sitting at the water and stuff. It's just like
Yeah.
you live such a peaceful lifestyle that I dream of having, right? Like I'm going to
Oh my
go
God.
after this. I will be uploading this to everywhere, right? Doing the thumbnail and stuff, playing World of Warcraft at the same time, and going to Target, and then going to the
Amazing.
gym.
Target's
and
fun.
I love Target. Target is great.
Target.
I spend too
Love
much
Target.
money there. But yeah, no, it's really cool. What's your go-to activity? Like outside?
Again, anything outside and probably by water too. Swimming, kayaking, walking, because I've been getting into that more. And then I love going to live music things, which we talk a lot about. I am like really into concerts, especially if they're outside. That's a bonus. But I just got back from a music festival that was held in Charlotte, gosh, a month ago already. It seems like it was yesterday, but just really big into just like if it's just sitting in the sun, like that's fine. I just want to feel the warmth of the sun and being in like a warmer place.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for
Yeah,
that. So
one of my mods, Patty, a good friend of mine, he was bitching about how hot it was yesterday in North Carolina.
Oh, jeez.
It was like
Yeah,
97 degrees or something.
It's been bad. I randomly ended up at a brewery last night with
just
like
randomly?
fake wrestling.
Oh, hell
Well,
yeah.
I got friends over there, but wrestling, like the fake stuff where they like have the big
Oh,
bouncy.
yeah. I see
They had,
TikToks
like,
of
a
the fake wrestling.
big pit of it. I don't know why they were doing it. And this guy had like a Nacho Libre mask on and just like what? Like why am I here?
I've seen the. I don't want to disrespect. It's the tiny man wrestling. I see that on TikTok all the time.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of little people, and they're fucking throwing
That's
each
kinda
other
cool,
around
though.
like a
I mean, it was entertaining, but also like one of the wrestlers was like kind of like hitting on me, and I was like, okay, I'm leaving.
Yeah, no,
Get me outta here.
yeah, no, 100%. Breweries are crazy. I heard that a lot of people bring dogs to breweries. I randomly get these weird ass TikToks. I love them though. I watch them. It's some dude named Alan, and he's like at the beginning of his videos, he's like, "Hi, my name's Alan. I've had 2,500 different beers, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorites." And I'm
That's
like,
cool.
I don't even fuck with beer, but I like Alan, dude. Like this guy's a vibe. Like he's like a dad and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was telling me about how he goes to, or telling TikTok about how he goes to a brewery and they always bring dogs. So I might need to start going to breweries more. You know, we have a lot of them around
They're
here.
very Charlotte and probably other places in North Carolina are like super dog friendly, and they're also super outdoor friendly. Like I feel like these places are built for like 75% of the seating is outdoors, 25 is indoors, and they're trying to like embrace that like almost year-round kind of warmish weather. So like dogs are a really big thing here. I don't have one yet. I'm working on it. I want a corgi so bad.
I want a fucking corgi so bad.
They're
I'm allergic
so
to dogs though.
cute.
Damn.
They're so cute.
Oh,
you are?
Yeah, I got
Oh my
nerfed
God.
at birth. I'll tell you what, I got nerfed.
You gotta like do some like allergy shots or something.
Yeah,
Try to
I know.
Come to terms with
I
it.
know.
I don't know.
God nerfed me at birth, I think. He
That
was like, yep,
sucks.
seafood, by the way, banned. And I'm like, damn it. And then he's like, dogs, by the way?
Dogs.
Yeah, banned. I'm like, all right, well, I see.
You don't hear about dog allergies as much as you hear about cat allergies.
Yeah, my dad's allergic to cats, so I can't get a cat either, unless
Maybe
I move
a
out,
good
right? So,
goldfish or something.
yeah, I've had my fair share of goldfish. I've also had a guinea pig. And I'll be honest,
I love guineas.
I think they're really cool, but I'll
They're
be
loud
honest
as
with you. I want to be able to take something for a walk, and my guinea pig was not
You
about
could
that life.
probably walk a guinea pig if you tried hard enough. But
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was just one of those. He walked 2 feet and just plopped down. So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to bring up chat. We are about to get to the chat questions, but before that, I wanted to ask some simple questions, maybe just to learn about something about you. So I call these speed questions. You can answer them as fast as you want, but they're kind of just simple questions. Chat, get your questions ready, please. Please, somebody get your questions ready, or you're banned. I wanted to ask, Tay, what's your favorite food?
I really like salad because I think it's very versatile, but that's a very dietitian answer. Donuts. I go to new places and I try donuts.
I love
all
a glazed
the time.
donut. Oh my lord.
I'm like into the like crazy ones though.
Do you get your? Oh, this is gonna sound wrong. Do you get filled donuts?
Do you get your donut filled?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, and I was like, "Yep, I need to reword this."
Sometimes it depends on what I'm feeling. But yeah, sometimes I don't like jelly-filled donuts. I'm Polish, so there's
jelly-filled donuts. I fucking hate it.
Punchkis are like a really popular like Mardi Gras Polish food.
I've never heard of that.
They're like filled donuts. I don't eat those, but like I like if they're filling. I don't know. They have certain fillings, whatever. But yeah, I'm a donut enjoyer.
Okay, woods or the beach? I think I know this one.
Beach.
Beach.
Was that what you thought I was gonna say?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I was like, I love hiking and being out in the wilderness, but beaches are way more relaxing for me. Yeah.
Burgers and hot dogs, or burgers or hot dogs?
I don't like either.
Okay. What's your favorite?
I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
And I hate hot dogs, but that's because I got sick after one. Everybody has that food that they had the flu after, and they
sour
won't eat
cream
it again.
and onion chips for me. Long story.
Yeah. So
what's
disgusting.
your favorite? Out of curiosity, this is also gonna sound weird. What's your favorite meat? Like, what's you get? You got a favorite?
Favorite meat?
You got
chicken.
A favorite?
I'm such a chicken enjoyer. I will eat chicken in so many different ways, so many different days in a row.
I love chicken parm.
Chicken's so
I
good.
love chicken parm.
Yeah.
Oh my god. If you won the lottery, what are you doing first?
Oh my gosh. Paying off my student debt, probably. It isn't a fun answer, but like I'd probably be financially responsible first and like take care of something.
Everybody's like, yo, I'd buy a yacht, fucking I'll get a boat on the water. I'm like, all right, dude, that sounds sick. Nah, that's not a boring answer. I'd probably put like half of it in like a savings account or something so that my kids can retire. Favorite musician? I know this one.
Noah Khan. I've been listening to him since probably 2017. So I'd like to say I was before the hype of TikTok, but yeah, I love him and I met him. He signed my record. They did like a record signing.
That's so sick.
Close to my place, and I went and had him sign my record. So that was cool.
Any people kind of like Noah Khan that you like? Like I know a lot around the folklore is really good. Like Lumineers. I like
Lumineers.
Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan's good. Mount Joy is good. I love 21 Pilots too. I've seen them live. And then I'm actually like friends of friends with the band Camp, if anyone's familiar with them. So they're a little folky as well. And I really like them. Okay. So I know I've been like backstage at their shows. Stuff. They're pretty big. They open for the Lumineers, so they're not like nobodies.
Oh hell yeah! Shout out Camp. I've never heard of them, but they sound like cool people.
CAMP. They're dope.
Oh wait, yeah, I've heard a song on like a Spotify Shuffle one time.
Probably like it came up. It's pretty similar to like the music you just described. So if you listen to any playlist related to that, you probably run into them.
Hell yeah! Well, we have officially got to the end of the podcast. We're not done just yet. We're gonna ask some chat questions. But Tay, I wanted to say thank you again for being on the podcast. Chat, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in chat. And I really appreciate you being on, Tay. I really do. It's really cool over the past few years of like seeing our friendship grow. Like I remember stopping in your stream and the first conversation we had was something about sex, and I was like, I am mildly uncomfortable in here. But it was
that's how it goes.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
Well, the first time I was in Genoo's stream, he was playing a game and talking about how Taylor is the female version of Chad, and I was like, I can never say anything in this chat. He already thinks I'm just like a mean, awful person.
I did say that.
So I was literally like waiting to type something and be like, hey, what's up? Like I have never been here before, and they're like, yeah, Taylors are like Chads of the females, like. Screw them, man. They suck. I'm like, all right, come for my name a little bit harder. That's fine.
That's hilarious. Crutch started off a while ago. He said, less question, more comment. He says, as someone who lived in addiction and now works in substance abuse treatment, I just want to say that I love your openness regarding your mental health. That openness is hard to have, so that's awesome. And secondly, I have some coffee, or this is my coffee guy, by the way, Crutch. I have to order some coffee this week, so if you'd like some fresh roasted coffee, please feel free to hit me up. I'll order decaf just for you. He gets beans all around the world. Like my favorite bean right now is a Papua New Guinea blend. I fucking love it. I also have a Mexican blend that I'm really liking right now. And then there's a few ones that he does. But yeah, I will get you his information after the podcast and stuff if you want like decaf coffee. I see that you have had some people in here. It's funny that they copy and pasted it almost, it looks like. Question for Tay, who is your favorite mod?
Yeah, I don't want to answer that.
Just
sorry,
mod me and say me. Okay, so you don't have to.
Both of them are a mod or a VIP, so I don't want to. Hi, Kimmy. I don't want to say it. But I have had a mod that's been with me for a very long time and is someone I know IRL. He's not my favorite, but he's just like been there the most. I don't know if he even does his job as much as the other ones do, but I'm not gonna say he's my favorite. He's just like stuck around there. Polar, I'm not answering that question, but I did meet Polar IRL, and he's a great dude. Yeah, I met him at Loot Fest. I love Polar.
Yeah, Polar.
It's not you.
Wait, I think I know Polar.
He wasn't at Loot Fest itself, but I got barbecue with him.
Oh shit!
But
never mind. I don't know.
Well,
I've seen Polar in chat before. I know.
Yeah.
I thought
Polar's
I met Polar. Oh, I'm sad I didn't meet Polar, so I guess that will be next Loot Fest, I guess. Speaking about which, they just had their tickets go on sale again. I don't know if they're at the same hotel.
I don't know if I can commit to like it that early. I feel like that's so
no,
soon to think about
100%.
it.
I agree, 100%.
I'm like, I'll look at it later. Let me get through TwitchCon first, and then think about.
Yeah, no,
I
agree, 100%. There's no more question. Kel said he had a question, so I'm yelling at Kel because he's a friend of mine. So, Kel, fucking wake up and say your question already. I'm here. What's for lunch? That's a good one. I'm having Chick-fil-A.
I ordered I got a chicken sandwich yesterday at a place called Milk Bread, and I'm going to eat that.
Ask her when she's playing WoW. Tay, would you try WoW just for the one time?
I would try it for the boys.
Okay.
For the Nino Nets.
Yeah.
The Nino-ettes, how I call you guys. I have the battle launcher, whatever it's called, because of COD. So like, I don't know, but I just asked Gino the other day. I'm like, do I have to pay for this? And you have to pay for that membership.
Yeah. Gino, Tay opens yogurts and doesn't finish them. Just half close lid and saves them for later.
We did this refrigerator game in Zoopy Duperson's stream, one of my other good friends, and everyone took pictures of the fridge and he had to guess whose fridge was whose. And I had an opened yogurt in there that I was gonna eat late. Like God. I eat half yogurt and then I put it in the fridge. The lid is like the lid's kind of like over. It's like a Chobani, so it's like over it. But people were like that was like the craziest thing out of the whole day. And there were way worse fridges there. Like to them it was, but there were way worse fridges there with way weirder stuff, like uncovered full plates of food. But my yogurt got like
that is weird. How do you not finish a whole ass yogurt? I'm down at it in 2 spoons.
I don't know, dude. Yogurt has a weird consistency for me, and I like it, but sometimes it makes me want to gag because it's like.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It do be a little little frothy type shit. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
but I like it. Yeah.
That's weird. I'm kind of on your polar side here. Outside of work and gaming, what is her most meaningful or favorite memory?
Oh my God, that's really hard. Wow. Oh my gosh. I gotta like think about that question. I gotta have that like cooked up.
That is a crazy question. I'm putting that in the next podcast type shit.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can give mine if we're talking like outside of gaming.
Okay.
This is very personal, actually. I've told this on chat maybe 2 times, so you're lucky if you've heard it. It's not really a very meaningful one or really favorite one, but it's something that I think about on a daily basis. When I was in the 8th grade, my left testicle swelled up to the size of a golf ball. And
like what?
Yeah, I had a golf ball testicle is what I called it. And yeah, so I had a lot of doctors.
Testicle.
Well, it's called epididymitis.
You didn't have to get one removed from it, did you?
No. I still have both my nuts. I still got
I met a guy with one nut. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah. Maybe he also had golf ball testicle.
No, I don't think you lose them. I think it's just like, Anyway, yeah, it
I'm
was.
looking at a picture. I've got an idea.
What do you mean
of
you're
what-
looking at a picture?
No, not of golf ball testicles of my favorite memory. I'm sorry, that was a bad setup.
You was a very bad setup, Tay. I thought you were talking about. Oh my god.
Probably either one of like my concerts that I've really connected with. Again, like I really like Noah Khan and I was really excited, but also I got a Christmas present last year to go swim with otters. So this is something that's like new. Otters are my favorite animal, and I got to swim with them. This is like gonna be hard to see, but just like play with them in the water, and they were trained. So it was really freaking cool, and I was like obsessed with them, and it was probably the best gift that I've ever gotten. It's in Georgia. And yeah, there's just like little guys.
Oh, that's so cute. Not to be that guy or anything, but there's otters in WoW, by the way, and you can ride them. Just would like to point that out.
I did not take a picture of that one guy's ball.
Yeah, she took it. That's what I was laughing at. I thought you were about to pull up a picture of a nut. I'm like, dang, respectfully, you can text me that later. Like
no, you don't need that.
That's hilarious. All right, well, Tay, I appreciate you being on the podcast here today. I wanted to ask, where can we find you? Platforms? Just tell me everything about you one more time.
Yeah, my name on most places is TayZgg, on Twitch, on Instagram, on Twitter, X, whatever it is. In Discord, I think I'm just TayZ, and I'm pretty much set with that because they changed their little rules. I got some numbers behind my name. I don't even know. But anyway, yeah, I'm there, and I stream right now like 3 days a week, mostly in the evening, so kind of opposite of Nino's schedule because I work, obviously. Weekends I stream, and yeah, we get a little rowdy in there. We watch MILF Manor every week in our Discord. We love. Have you seen it? It's a really good show.
Nope. You've told me about it actually every time I've been in your stream, I think, and
it's really good. I think you guys should try it.
Yeah,
I think you should try it out for size.
Very great, guys. Very great. I'm sure.
I love trash reality TV, but yeah, that's where I am, and my stream's a little, despite these meaningful conversations we've had here. My streams are a little bit more out of pocket. So if you do end up coming there and stopping by, you're going to hear some weird stories and weird things. I have a lot of unfortunate things that have happened with men in my life. And I like to share that with people and talk about craziness.
You kind of made me stop wearing pajama pants for a month, but I'm back on the pajama pant grind. I'm not going to lie.
I told the story about how this guy took me on a date and he wore pajama pants to the movies. And I was like, and then
he was just stylish as shit.
He asked for 2 separate orders at the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if y'all don't know about pajama pant guy, think about him on probably a daily basis. Dude brought pajama pants to a movie. That's just fucking style. Okay, that's what But the craziest part is that he was in the drive-thru and he asked for 2 separate checks. Like Tay got something and he got something and he asked for separate checks. That is crazy to me.
Weird.
That is
weird.
Yeah, that
but
was
you know
unreal.
Where he lives.
Actually,
he lives in Nashville now. You guys could be best buddies.
Yeah. No, we are not being.
There.
Yeah, that guy sounds like a dickhead.
Pajama brothers.
Yeah, he's paying for the first meal to me. I swear to God, he's not. No, hell no.
God.
That's funny, Tay. Well, I appreciate you being on the podcast. Thank you again. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your day. Are you streaming tonight? I think you are, right?
No, I'll stream tomorrow.
Okay.
I changed up my schedule a little bit just because it's the summer. People are doing things. I want to do things. So I want to go see Inside Out 2 tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to. But regardless,
go do that. Go do that. Dude, she will be live tomorrow. Tay, I appreciate you being on the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for
having me. You have a good rest
of
your day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye,
everyone.
Chat, if you guys did not know, Tay is also a content creator, like she just stated. And if you guys did not know, I have a Coffee with Genooo Twitter now. It is Coffee with Genooo with 1 O. You guys can stay up to date there. Coffee with Genooo TikTok is still permanently banned. With that being said, thank you so much for watching the podcast. As always, stay safe, stay positive. Wait, I just said that wrong. Stay safe, stay caffeinated. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.